always a challenge producing a top 5 hotspots report for a broad market where there's previously been a boom and now there's something of a downturn, a correction happening post-boom. And that's the case with the new edition of our top 5 Melbourne hotspots report. Not quite so easy. For most of the past 5 years, it's been relatively easy to nominate locations where people can buy and expect some pretty good short-term capital growth. What this reminds us, though, in circumstances like we now face with the Melbourne market, is that real estate investment is fundamentally and essentially a long-term process, and we really need to bring long-term thinking and planning to the process. And that's what we've done with this new edition of Top 5 Melbourne Hotspots. We've looked at areas around the Melbourne metropolitan area that have really good, strong bones, solid inherent credentials, places that are perhaps showing resilience against the current downturn, but in particular locations that have the credentials to provide good, solid growth for investors going forward. So we've nominated 5 locations that we think have all those qualities. They're all places that have good infrastructure, good locations, good transport links, lots of jobs nodes within the particular areas under focus, but also good transport links also to the centre of Melbourne. And all of the 5 locations that we now feature in this new edition of Top 5 Melbourne Hotspots reports fit that bill. The places that have held up pretty well in terms of sales activity, and in most cases with the level of pricing. They're all areas where prices are no longer growing, although there are some exceptions, particularly in the apartment markets. Mostly the places where prices have come back a bit, but not as much as the average of Melbourne, because they've shown resilience. Their sales activity levels have stayed quite steady, though well below the peak levels, of course. But most importantly, the places that, because of what they have within their local economies, what they have in terms of proximity to important things, jobs nodes, the CBD of Melbourne perhaps, they have good prospects going forward. Some of them are areas undergoing ongoing gentrification, and that's a process that continues to provide hotspots for property markets, not just in Melbourne, but around Australia. It's an important thing to look for. So I recommend that you have a good look at the new edition of the Melbourne Hotspots report. It contains some really interesting and strong possibilities for people looking to take advantage of the current market conditions where there's less competition in the market, prices are down a bit, so you can buy pretty well with a view to growth going forward. And that's what essentially property investment is all about, looking to the future, taking that medium to long-term view. That's it for now. Look forward to talking again soon. Ryder from hotspotting.com.au signing off.